the core battlefield of the Reincarnation Sea, where the battle between the immortal sacred sovereign, holy origin lord, and others is taking place. Boom! At this moment, crimson-hued evil flying swords envelop the entire world, and wherever the swords surge, blood floods the land. The holy origin lord stands at the center, surrounded by countless evil flying swords. Holding an ancient stone sword covered in gray dust, he lifts the sword's tip with a scornful gesture, pointing it at the immortal sacred sovereign and his group. The disdain in his expression is unmatched. The world around them is already fully under the control of these malevolent swords. This guy's mastery of swordsmanship rivals that of the sword domain lord, if not surpasses it. And the power of the stone sword in his hand is certainly quite peculiar. After several exchanges, the immortal sacred sovereign's aged eyes show a deep sense of dread. The immortal sacred tomb behind him quivers slightly, indicating they had underestimated the holy origin lord's strength, which now threatens the entire battlefield. How should we proceed? The scroll in the hands of the lord of the ancient heavenly palace is already torn apart, signaling that the allied forces have suffered heavy losses trying to fend off the holy origin lord's attacks. The scroll itself bears significant damage, unable to unleash its full might. Now, it seems the only option is to unite all our strength and fight to the death. In this life and death crisis, you all should hold nothing back. After a moment of contemplation, the immortal sacred sovereign's face darkens as he speaks. If they continue to hold back, the entire alliance will be wiped out by the holy origin lord. I'm giving you one last chance. If you can withstand this move, I will let you go. This move is called the Endless Sword Domain. Experience death in a world of evil and darkness. As the holy origin lord's voice falls, ripples and whirlpools of energy surge through the surrounding void. Within these whirlpools, all sorts of evil-tainted weapons lie in wait, ready to explode at his command. The sight is magnificent. Immortal sacred tomb. Desert heavenly palace. Seeing this deadly strike, no one from the remaining allied forces retreats. Mighty roars reverberate through the heavens, and 5 powerhouses at the 8th reincarnation stage pale as they unleash their final moves. Kill. As 5 perilous attacks fall quietly, the holy origin lord's sinister gaze reveals disdain. He casually swings his stone sword, and countless attacks follow one after another from the whirlpools. In the endless sword domain, countless weapons imbued with corrupting and evil powers continuously pour forth. Once struck, the bodies of many allied forces experts are easily bound by evil shackles, eroding their vitality and devouring their minds. Boom, boom, boom. The 5 8th reincarnation stage experts' combined attacks are earth-shattering, but under the endless onslaught of the endless sword domain, their strikes rapidly vanish. Their faces grow grim as countless evil weapons buzz around them, and an ominous feeling spreads in their hearts. A king of the sacred clan from the outer realms actually resorts to such insidious tactics. It's a disgrace to your formidable reputation. At the same time, as the unease grows within the 5, a sharp voice suddenly echoes across the heavens, accompanied by a brilliant, dazzling flame rising from afar. Who are you? As the 5 battle-worn experts lay on the brink of death, the holy origin lord turns and gazes toward the edge of the void. Within the brilliant flames, a timeless figure stands, radiating a divine aura that causes the holy origin lord's expression to flicker. The intensity of the flame reveals that this figure poses an even greater threat than the immortal sacred sovereign. Xiao. The immortal sacred sovereign's immortal sacred tomb releases a gray deathlight, protecting the 5, before he turns with difficulty to look at the figure. Even with the combined strength of the allied forces and the 5 of them, they are still unable to completely quell the disaster of the Reincarnation Sea. It seems the power of the 3 sacred clan kings has far exceeded their expectations. Xiao, this is the decree of the Realm Lord. You must help us eradicate the evil clan. As Xiao's figure emerges from the endless sea of flames, the lord of the ancient heavenly palace proudly holds up a golden scroll before his chest, addressing Xiao. This golden scroll, the decree of the Realm Lord, contains a hint of the Realm Lord's power. However, the Holy Origin Lord is prepared for this, rendering it ineffective. Xiao Yin? Hearing the voices of the immortal sacred sovereign and the others, the Holy Origin Lord's gaze suddenly fills with unprecedented joy. He is also the primary target that the extraterritorial evil clan is trying to eliminate. This guy broke through from the continent of Do Chi into the Great Thousand Worlds, and within a century, he has grown to this point. Xiao Yan's threat now even surpasses that of any expert from the Xiao clan in the past. Stop using such tricks to suppress me. This guy, I will deal with him, but not for you, but for the people I protect. Xiao Yan coldly tossed out those words, and immediately, the vast sea of flames expanded rapidly, quickly clashing with the endless sword formations of the Holy Origin Lord. This guy. Hearing Xiao Yan's arrogant words, the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace's face twisted in hatred. However, after a brief moment of thought, he suppressed his anger. Among the 5 of them, aside from the immortal sacred sovereign, the attacks from the other 4 had little effect on the Holy Origin Lord, like scratching an itch. If they fought among themselves now, everyone would likely perish here. As for Xiao Yan, once this matter was over, there would be plenty of people from the center of the human realm who would come to take care of him. So, you are Xiao Yan? Your aura and strength are indeed remarkable. No wonder the extraterritorial evil clan nearly got defeated by you. The Holy Origin Lord gripped the evil stone sword in his hand, and a smirk formed at the corner of his mouth, a smile hiding a knife. An expert from the sacred clan, the Holy Origin Lord truly lives up to his name. Surrounded by a sea of flames, Xiao Yan casually sensed the surroundings and easily noticed that nearly half of the evil army had already turned into corpses, lying on the ground. But this reincarnation sea is a resting place for the powerful of the Great Thousand Worlds. I'm afraid things won't go as you wish. In the next moment, a fiery intensity ignited in Xiao Yan's eyes, and a chilling, killing intent began to spread. Sharp-tongued brat. The Holy Origin Lord sneered, and the killing intent in his heart grew colder. By the way, that so-called Shui Ji Sacred Throne clan has been completely buried by my hand. In the next instant, Xiao Yan grinned and scratched his head, as if suddenly recalling something. You're courting death. The Holy Origin Lord, who had seemed somewhat calm before, now wore an expression full of cold malice after hearing Xiao Yan's harmless words. The evil stone sword in his hand buzzed ominously, seemingly ready to unleash its deadliest attack on Xiao Yan. Boom! As the words were spoken, the atmosphere thickened with the tension of impending conflict. The fluctuations from the Holy Origin Lord and the evil stone sword created an immense pressure, making countless people uneasy. Facing such an enemy, it seemed that only the immortal sacred sovereign and Xiao Yan could shake him, take them and retreat. Looking at the fierce attacks from the enemy, Xiao Yan slowly turned to the immortal sacred sovereign and the others, speaking seriously. The power and combatability of the Holy Origin Lord were simply terrifying. Even Xiao Yan himself would have to go all out to face him, and thus could no longer care for the others. The immortal sacred sovereign and his companions were already badly wounded, and staying here would only add trouble. You! Hearing Xiao Yan's cold, merciless words, the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace's face changed repeatedly, filled with resentment towards Xiao Yan. This guy actually considered their entire army as a burden? Leave, break out of this realm. Let's see if we can break through. With just our strength, we can't possibly deal with the 3 sacred clans in the Reincarnation Sea. Move. The immortal sacred sovereign was no fool. Seeing Xiao Yan's stance amidst the sea of flames, he immediately understood what was going on. After all, with Xiao Yan in this form, even he felt a sense of fear. Since Xiao Yan had volunteered to deal with the Holy Origin Lord, the immortal sacred sovereign was more than happy to lead the army in retreat. Humph! Trying to escape? Without my permission, no one will leave this place. The void stirred, and the Holy Origin Lord extended a pair of pure white wrists from his black robes. With a swing of the evil stone sword, the void collapsed, and waves of deadly evil energy shot toward the retreating group, hunting them down. Humph! Faced with this, Xiao Yan stomped heavily, and the sea of flames violently contracted. In the blink of an eye, it condensed into a flame lotus heart, like a meteor falling from the sky, chasing after the Holy Origin Lord's attacks, constantly countering the evil assault. Bang! 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 The sound of violent clashes echoed throughout the sky, and in the vast void, only Xiao Yan and the Holy Origin Lord remained visible. Is it worth it? For some profit-driven individuals, you've actually put yourself in such danger. Seeing that his pursuit was unsuccessful, the Holy Origin Lord gave up on chasing the immortal sacred sovereign and the others. Compared to them, Xiao Yan's importance was undeniable. However, to the Holy Origin Lord's surprise, his attacks were effortlessly neutralized by Xiao Yan. This guy's strength was far from insignificant. Each has their own goals, perhaps. It had been a long time since he felt this immense pressure, yet deep within his soul, there was not a trace of fear. Instead, there was more exhilaration. The greater the pressure, the greater the rebound. Make your move. I too am curious to see if this descendant of the Xiao clan, whom countless of my people have spoken of, truly possesses the legendary courage. The Holy Origin Lord slowly shed his black robe, revealing a sinister expression. His body was etched with evil runes, and it seemed as though his entire form was a cursed symbol, exuding an ominous aura. As you wish. Power of the sacred flame, flame throne. In an instant, Xiao Yan didn't hold back at all. As soon as he made his move, a demigod-level combat technique was unleashed. The power of the flame control technique now allowed Xiao Yan to fully execute 2 demigod-level attacks. If these 2 strikes couldn't defeat this man, then Xiao Yan would have to resort to his ultimate trump card, God-slaying ruler. Now, Lady Yaoji, Her Eminence Chang'e, and even the Thunder Lord, having successfully reincarnated, had the means to rescue the Xiao clan. Once the 3 powerful figures from the Reincarnation Sea were awakened, the rescue mission would begin. Therefore, this battle in the Reincarnation Sea had to succeed, no matter what, even if it meant exposing all his secrets. Boom! Brilliant 9-colored flames surged out from Xiao Yan's body and quickly transformed into a vast sea of flames, gradually constructing a towering flame divine palace nearly 1,000 feet high. Within the palace, the power of the sacred flames was everywhere. At its core, Xiao Yan sat calmly on the flame throne, his demeanor unshaken as he looked down at the Holy Origin Lord below. In that moment, he seemed like a timeless flame emperor, passing judgment on the evil ones. This power is far more formidable than those petty individuals driven by greed. Now, this is what qualifies as my opponent. Endless Sword Domain, 10,000 Destruction Evil Light. Suddenly, the Holy Origin Lord muttered some complex and cryptic incantations. In an instant, the evil stone sword in his hand gleamed ominously, and the surrounding space began to stir. A streak of jet-black light, as if slicing through dawn, appeared out of thin air. Boom! The 2 powerful attacks collided, creating a resounding shockwave. The vibrant flames and pitch-black beams scattered in all directions, annihilating the surrounding void. Pfft! A mouthful of fresh blood suddenly spurted from Xiao Yan's lips as his body was forced back dozens of steps before he could stabilize himself. Although this enemy's true strength was still hovering between the peak of the 8th reincarnation stage and the half-step 9th reincarnation stage, an evil powerhouse so close to the threshold of the 9th reincarnation stage was still a tough challenge for Xiao Yan. Even a demigod-level technique can't handle this. Xiao Yan's bloodline grew hotter, and a rare sense of battle intent filled his heart. This opponent was truly a formidable foe. Is this your reliance? After shattering Xiao Yan's demigod-level combat technique, the Holy Origin Lord still wore a faint smile on his lips, as if mocking him. The difference in their strength was still too great. Looks like I have no choice but to try this. I just hope nothing goes wrong. Moments later, a wild idea surged from the depths of Xiao Yan's mind. As soon as it surfaced, it became an inescapable shadow in his thoughts. The sacred flame origin that the 3 women had bestowed upon him had already been used once. If he used it again, it would either waste the sacred flame origin or cause it to dissipate, a tragic loss. Moreover, even with the fusion of the nine-colored sacred flame, it still wouldn't be enough to fully counter this enemy. Therefore, he had to find another way. Since the sacred flame could be fused, what about the 3 battle cores of water, fire, and thunder in his body, which were already perfectly full? If he succeeded in fusing them, the resulting power might be close to that of a quasi-divine technique. This would be enough to truly harm the Holy Origin Lord. Since he could fuse the sacred flame and demonic power, why couldn't he fuse the battle cores? Battle cores were the essence of elemental power. Even if fused, there would be no side effects for Xiao. The fusion of 3 attributes would give him power capable of shaking the very heavens and earth. If successful, Xiao would have a life-saving card up his sleeve. Even if he were to fail, with the god-slaying ruler, he could still have the final confidence to slay the Holy Origin Lord. Phew. Time to gamble. Looking at the distant Holy Origin Lord, Xiao smiled. Once the wild thought surfaced, it could not be retracted. Meanwhile, the battle in the mysterious region of the Reincarnation Sea, located in the Great Thousand Worlds, had already become a raging storm. The outer edge of the Reincarnation Sea was shrouded by countless evil clouds, with thunder and lightning flashing. It was as though a real storm was about to hit. When this group of people reached the edge of the Reincarnation Sea, their hearts were filled with a sense of fear as they gazed upon the impenetrable evil clouds above. Inside the Reincarnation Sea, countless reincarnation tombs shone brightly, but now, the passageway to and from the Reincarnation Sea had long been completely shrouded by these ominous dark clouds. Within these pitch-black clouds, it seems there's an unknown force hiding. With their bodies severely wounded, the group stood in the sky above the Reincarnation Sea, their eyes slightly twitching as they looked at the countless evil clouds that enveloped the area. Standing beneath these evil clouds, a damp, cold, and foul stench filled their senses, and an endless terror quietly spread from the depths of their souls. The immortal sacred sovereign stood in the void, watching as the towering evil clouds swirled. From below, the entire Reincarnation Sea appeared to be swallowed by the clouds, transforming into a sinister and evil purgatory. The power within was something beyond the combined strength of these few. Break out. Even if we have to exhaust everything, we must create an opening here, or we will perish in this place. Kill them all. After a brief hesitation, the immortal sacred sovereign's eyes turned crimson as he stared at this human purgatory. With a roar, his body surged with the remaining reincarnation power and shot forward at it. The so-called leader of the Endless Flame Alliance is nothing more than an empty title. Now, do you have any last words? In another core battlefield, Holy Origin Lord looked at Xiao, who was surrounded by a sea of fire. The blood dripping from the corner of Xiao's mouth only made his smile grow colder. This so-called descendant of the Xiao clan didn't seem as powerful as the legends described. Xiao remained silent, the 3 battle cores within his body slowly coiling in the sea of Do Qi, emitting waves of unprecedented joy. Under Xiao's spiritual power suppression, they had begun to merge quietly. Merging required time, and the situation was not what Xiao had anticipated. After the battle with the Shuai sacred clan, he had expended too much sacred flame power, although he later absorbed the strength of their entire race. Crack! Seeing Xiao's silent attitude, Holy Origin Lord extended his delicate white wrist and lightly pressed toward the surrounding sea of fire. With just a subtle gesture, he crushed the vast sacred flames into nothingness. The terrifying power Xiao displayed now left the entire world silent. Xiao's expression changed slightly. Holy Origin Lord's immense strength only solidified his resolve to merge the 3 attribute battle cores. Boom! As Xiao hesitated, Holy Origin Lord swung his evil stone sword again, unleashing a colossal sword ray that fell from the sword, striking toward Xiao's vital points with the speed of lightning. Holy Origin Lord clearly wasn't a benevolent person. He intended to take advantage of Xiao's battle core fusion to eliminate him once and for all. Xiao's mind, soul power, and all attention were focused on the fusion of his battle cores. He had no choice but to block this sword head-on. The sword ray came crashing down, causing the void to tremble. Xiao Yan's clothes shredded instantly, and despite the protection of Basha's scale, dark scars appeared on his bronze skin, attracting attention. The pain was excruciating, as if his soul were unprotected, exposed under the gaze of his enemy, and being whipped mercilessly by countless scarlet demonic whips. Each lash caused Xiao Yan's body to shudder. Even with Xiao Yan's resilience, facing such heart-stopping torment, he couldn't help but gasp in pain. Holy Origin Lord's attack was even more terrifying than he had imagined. He could only hope the fusion of the 3 attribute battle cores would erase this threat. Almost there. The burden on his body was growing heavier. If this continued, he would inevitably suffer severe damage to his origins. Xiao Yan silently chanted in his heart, "Fire, come!" The blazing flames began to flicker. Numerous fiery light points appeared around Xiao Yan, swirling together to form a magnificent flame palace behind him. Inside the palace, the fire attribute battle core lay quietly, continually supplying Xiao Yan with pure and extreme fire power. Water, come! Layers of nearly transparent water curtains fell from the sky. Under Xiao Yan's control, countless water droplets within the curtains turned into crystal-clear spheres, spreading out in all directions and enveloping the entire world. Thunder, come! A gray thunder flickered in his eyes, and the lightning surged rapidly. A thunder heart lay quietly on his chest, the gathering storms capable of annihilating everything. Boom! Boom! 3 distinctly different powers hovered around Xiao Yan. Inside his Do Chi Si, there was an intense pressure that felt as though it could explode at any moment. His eyes were bloodshot, and only a trace of his unwavering willpower suppressed the rising turbulence within him. Glug! It seemed that Xiao Yan had already reached the end of his strength under the onslaught of his opponent, but to his surprise, the other party still had a hidden trump card. However, upon seeing the 3 distinct energies surrounding Xiao Yan, Holy Origin Lord's face twisted into a greedy grin. Endless Sword Domain explode? Seeing Xiao Yan's actions, Holy Origin Lord's crimson eyes flared with fury. He raised his stone sword high and struck down with all his might. The evil stone sword shattered with a thunderous roar, breaking apart into swirling, murky energy that shot towards Xiao Yan. In the void of this world, not only was it filled with endless evil aura, but now, with the added power of the evil stone sword, the very fabric of space collapsed. The streams of evil energy surged like a monstrous sea, slowly encircling Xiao Yan. Facing the first move from Holy Origin Lord, Xiao Yan's tall figure stirred slightly. A miserable smile played at the corners of his lips. In his palm, a tiny point of light pulsated with a rhythmic beat, embodying the water, fire, and thunder attributes. Its pressure overwhelming. Let's settle this with this move. Xiao Yan sneered, then flicked his finger. The 3 attribute heart rotated slightly and shot towards Holy Origin Lord's position with effortless precision. Boom! The moment the 3 attribute heart collided with the evil streams, an indescribable wave of energy exploded, distorting the very fabric of the world. The boundless forces of the 3 attributes ravaged the surroundings, annihilating everything in their path. Even Holy Origin Lord's terrifying attack slowly faded and vanished under the overwhelming power. The evil aura, the evil currents, and other sinister forces were gradually evaporated. The combined forces of water, fire, and thunder shot towards Holy Origin Lord like an unstoppable tidal wave. At that moment, all the arrogance vanished from Holy Origin Lord's eyes. A primal fear, as though from death itself, surged into his heart. The fusion of the 3 attribute Do core left Holy Origin Lord's face completely stunned. His sinister expression remained suspended in the sky as he stared at the 3 brilliant energies surrounding him. He grimly said, "I didn't expect you to have such terrifying means, aside from the sacred flame. But even if you defeat me, the only ones who will fail in this Reincarnation Sea battle are your great 1,000 worlds." His voice was filled with a mad, unchecked arrogance. Yet, his strength had already reached its limit. In response to Holy Origin Lord's mocking words, Xiao Yan slowly exhaled, then spread his soul power across the void, enveloping the three energies. They orbited around Holy Origin Lord, ready to destroy him completely at any moment. The power unleashed by the fusion of the three attribute Do core easily obliterated Holy Origin Lord's strongest strike. The Shuai sacred clan forged his position through the combined strength of their entire clan. The holy clan behind you must have done the same. Outer realms may be powerful, but countless beings from the great thousand worlds are also born as prodigies. Xiao spoke as if telling a story, and as his words echoed, the three energies became even stronger, reaching a critical point where they could explode at any time. In order to destroy Xiao, Holy Origin Lord crushed the evil stone sword, his very source. With the sword shattered, his aura had already become significantly weaker. Seeing Xiao overpowering stance, Holy Origin Lord's face turned crimson with rage, and a torrent of demonic aura burst from his body, desperately trying to break free of Xiao lock. However, with the combined might of the three attributes, Xiao combat power had soared to an entirely new level. No matter how Holy Origin Lord struggled, he couldn't break free. Xiao calm smile only grew as the pressure around him increased. It seemed as though Holy Origin Lord had sensed the destructive wave of the three energies surrounding him. In the next moment, he let out a frantic roar, his face filled with panic and fear. At his level, a single step forward would bring him to the peak, but if he fell now, everything would be lost. Water, fire, thunder, annihilate. At that moment, Xiao immense soul power flickered as he fused the three energies together in an instant. A radiant, multicolored sphere of light exploded into countless brilliant dots, each carrying terrifying power capable of tearing apart heaven and earth. Thou-ish! The countless points of light screamed through the air and instantly shredded Holy Origin Lord's human form. As his human body disintegrated, a tiny black flame flickered from within. It continued to shrink, evidently the true source of Holy Origin Lord's being. A sorrowful roar echoed, and the flame rapidly dimmed, on the brink of disintegration. In the void, the frenzied, maddened roar lingered for a long time. However, under the thunderous explosion created by the fusion of three types of energy, this sacred clan commander was struck by Xiao, his vitality completely extinguished, reduced to nothingness, and forever trapped in the Reincarnation Sea. The fusion of the triple attribute battle core unleashed a power even greater than that of the 17-colored sacred flame fusion. Yet, despite the fusion, it still could not break through the final membrane within the battle core. It seemed that the highest level of the battle core was not the battle core itself, but something far more terrifying. Poof! Once the crisis passed, Xiao spat out another mouthful of scalding blood. The difficulty of fusing the triple attribute battle core was no less than that of the sacred flame fusion. The immense strain from the life or death situation had subjected Xiao battle chi si to unimaginable torment. At this moment, the world around him was in ruins, shattered beyond recognition. The void was filled with the chaotic energies of water, fire, and thunder, all raging uncontrollably. After dealing with two sacred clan experts, the calamity of the Reincarnation Sea should be quelled. Now, we just need to wait for Xun'er and the others to complete their reincarnation. Sitting cross-legged, Xiao retrieved some healing elixirs from his storage ring and slowly began to mend his internal wounds. But even as he thought this, an uneasy feeling lingered in his heart, as though some terrifying force still existed deep within the Reincarnation Sea. After restoring most of his energy, Xiao stood up again and headed toward the location of the undying sacred sovereign and others. When he reunited with this group, the heavily wounded Great Thousand Alliance, now reduced by more than half, was in the midst of an inexplicable disaster. They were killing each other. Among the remaining members of the Alliance, there were only around 100 left. All were gravely injured, some with bloodshot eyes, others with scattered minds, and some even surrounded by thick demonic aura. The ones with sane minds were fighting desperately among themselves. The sounds of raging fires and screams filled the air, echoing through the heavens and earth. Among the infighting, especially 5 experts around the 8th reincarnation stage, 3 of them appeared to be controlled by an evil force and were now attacking the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace, forcing him to retreat step by step. Meanwhile, the undying sacred sovereign, to Xiao Yan's shock, was charging toward the farthest reaches of the endless sky, moving through the evil clouds as though searching for something. "What are you doing?" Xiao Yan shouted, his mind racing at the sight before him. Why were these people being controlled? As he roared, faint raindrops began to fall from the evil clouds above. Though the rain was sparse and weak, it was undeniably real. "Xiao Yan, someone is controlling the rain. He's trying to use this poisonous storm to control us. Their goal is probably to destroy the entire Reincarnation Sea." At that moment, the Lord of the ancient heavenly palace, having forcibly repelled 3 of the 8th Reincarnation stage experts, shouted to Xiao Yan. The 5 of them had already exhausted their power in the battle against the Holy Origin Lord, but now, after being controlled, their strength seemed to be slowly regenerating. The more they fought, the stronger they became, as though their power was inexhaustible, like the endless depths of an abyss. Rainwater. It's the rainwater. There are definitely hidden secrets behind this. Don't let those who've been controlled touch the rainwater. That's the source of their power. The Lord of the ancient heavenly palace, now pale, suddenly roared at the remaining members of the alliance who were still fighting. "Sacred flame, expel." Sacred flame can't even expel this control? Xiao Yan slowly walked past one of the controlled alliance members, his face filled with shock as he looked at the person. The wounds on this person's body were being covered by countless snakes, insects, rats, and poisonous creatures, which seemed to be healing the wounds while also assimilating his life force, devouring his mind. This power was incredibly sinister. Even Xiao Yan's sacred flame seemed powerless for a moment. It was as if the poisonous creatures could even devour the sacred flame. Poof! A shadow streaked down rapidly from the evil clouds, accompanied by a fierce wind, as though some force had struck it down from the clouds. Lord of the ancient heavenly palace, something is falling from the evil clouds. It looks like a person. A few sharp-eyed individuals in the crowd noticed the strange event and cried out in alarm. At this point, they were too overwhelmed by the controlled enemies to react properly and could only place their final hopes on this mysterious figure. No, the undying sacred sovereign? At this moment, the immortal sacred sovereign was surrounded by eerie death light and an evil halo, as if engaged in a fierce battle. His body was covered in countless wounds. In order to break through the Reincarnation Sea, the immortal sacred sovereign had entered the evil clouds alone, attempting to defeat the centipede evil emperor. But before he could even locate this enemy, a surge of evil power that surpassed the heavens and earth easily struck him down. "Are you all right?" After a brief hesitation, Xiao Yan took the lead, rescuing the immortal sacred sovereign. I'm fine. It's just that this time, the Reincarnation Sea is likely doomed." A rare despair flickered in the immortal sacred sovereign's aged eyes. Even with his peak strength at the 8th Reincarnation stage, when he entered the evil clouds, he couldn't find the mastermind controlling the rain. Instead, he was made a fool, like a clown. The Great Thousand Alliance's attempt to overthrow the 3 great saint clans was a joke from the very beginning. A colossal joke. There is someone in the evil clouds. He is the true mastermind behind the catastrophe of the Reincarnation Sea. I implore you. The immortal sacred sovereign looked at Xiao Yan's resolute gaze, then hesitated, unwilling to give up. "How many are there?" Xiao Yan nodded calmly. "Only one. He is the leader of the 3 great saint clans, the centipede evil emperor, a true half-step 9th Reincarnation stage powerhouse." The immortal sacred sovereign's aged eyes locked on Xiao Yan, waiting for his response. It seemed that at this crucial moment, his last hope rested on Xiao Yan. "Xiao Yan, I beg you on behalf of the immortal sacred graveyard, please save these lives. If the Reincarnation Sea is destroyed, the countless powerhouses who inhabit it will face physical and spiritual annihilation. We, too, will turn to dust, with no survivors." After a brief silence, seeing Xiao Yan's calm expression, the immortal sacred sovereign's voice choked with emotion, as if this was his last resort. Perhaps many still hold grudges over the disappearance of the Xiao clan, but one day, the truth will come to light. Xiao Yan gazed at the turbulent, evil clouds in the sky, droplets of evil rain falling from them. He muttered to himself, "This leap might lead to an unprecedented death crisis, but do I even have a choice? At a time like this, someone has to step forward, don't they? But I only represent myself. I don't want to be involved with the center of the human realm. I hope you understand." By the end of his sentence, a mad fluctuation suddenly appeared in Xiao Yan's pupils. "I'm sorry." The remaining Great Thousand Alliance expert, looking at the tall figure before him, struggled to hold back the bitter tears in his eyes. An unprecedented sense of admiration began to rise in his heart. "I can't guarantee I can deal with him. I can only buy time." Deep within the Reincarnation Sea lies the reincarnation tomb of the Xiao clan's first elder. "If I fail, that will be our last hope. No matter what, you must guard the tomb with your life." Xiao Yan solemnly walked up to the immortal sacred sovereign, speaking in a low voice. While he alone had wiped out the Shueji Sacred Throne clan, the remaining forces of the two great Saint clans alliance were a formidable threat. With only the current Great Thousand Alliance, it was like a drop in the bucket. "Why?" Sensing Xiao Yan's strange tone, which felt more like entrusting orphans, the immortal sacred sovereign's eyes trembled. For a moment, he was at a loss. "I don't trust any of them. Let's begin." Xiao Yan slowly raised his head. The sacred flame surrounding him flickered, and with a burst, he shot into the evil clouds. The remaining Great Thousand Alliance experts, fighting below, looked up, noticing Xiao Yan's solitary figure. They quickly sensed something, and a wave of respect surged in their hearts. Lord Xiao Yan's great grace. They naturally understood that Xiao Yan was about to challenge the centipede evil emperor alone. Though it would delay the storm's arrival, would Xiao Yan, with his mere 8th reincarnation stage strength, stand a chance against the strongest of the three great saint clans? Whether or not he succeeds, at least he has taken this crucial step. His status now surpasses that of all of us in the alliance, doesn't it? The immortal sacred sovereign gazed at the Great Thousand Alliance, which was on the brink of being devoured and controlled by the rain, and a trace of admiration rose in his heart. This was what the Xiao clan was like. Facing even an abyss tens of thousands of feet deep, they would leap into it without hesitation. Xiao Yan had already set off. He had his own plans and wouldn't care about the fate of the Great Thousand Alliance. But he had to buy time for the reincarnation of the three women, even if it meant exhausting himself to build a grand wall to shield them from the storm. This battle was not just for the Reincarnation Sea. It was a battle for love, a battle to protect. After Xiao Yan moved, the evil clouds above the horizon of the Reincarnation Sea seemed to sense someone approaching. Under the control of some unseen force, they began to writhe ominously. Within the clouds, lightning flashed and thunder rumbled, as though an unprecedented catastrophe was about to burst forth and descend. Howl! The cries of torment, buzzing, and the sounds of fury intertwined, gradually emanating from the evil clouds. The chilling roars were a form of torture in themselves. The moment they rang through the heavens, the reincarnation tombs where powerful beings who had long since fallen into reincarnation slept, were easily pierced, leaving them riddled with countless holes. It was a storm of the most extreme evil, and even before it fully arrived, it unleashed such heart-stopping fluctuations. The Reincarnation Sea, which had just been invaded by the extraterritorial evil clan, was now about to face a truly blood-soaked calamity. Even if they managed to defeat the invaders, the Reincarnation Sea after this disaster would be unrecognizable. Evil power climbed and spread, tainting the sky and the earth. There would no longer be any trace of living beings. The evil rain would obliterate this place, devouring and erasing countless lives within the Reincarnation Sea, weakening the strength of the entire Great Thousand Worlds. Xiao Yan's speed increased, and the light emitted by the sacred flame surrounding him gradually dimmed. Around him, there was nothing but darkness, as if he were in a true realm of eternal night. No time, no heavenly or earthly energies, only an endless, suffocating stillness. Centipede Evil Emperor, show yourself. I know you're here. As his body was completely submerged in the dim void of the evil clouds, Xiao Yin let out a soft breath, then closed his eyes.